It's the Group A finals. We only have 3 contestants left, which will be whittled down to 1 by the end of the episode. Ugly Sweater, Starfish, and Goldfish. Let's talk The Masked Singer. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my recap and reaction video to The Masked Singer Group A Finals for Season 11. This is Queen Night, obviously one of the best bands of all time, in my opinion, certainly. So all the songs tonight, courtesy of that great group, Queen. And we have 3 acts left: the Ugly Sweater, the Starfish, and the Goldfish. And we'll see which 2 of them are voted off by the end of the episode and who is under the mask. I've had a rough go of it so far this season. I am currently only 3 for 7. Now, I will admit, 2 of these people voted out I've never even heard of. Last week, DeMarcus Ware. I wouldn't have guessed him if you gave me a million guesses, because I don't know if I've ever heard that name. Maybe in passing or something, but, sports and me are not as connected, so didn't know him. And there was that guy from Top Chef or something, or Hell's Kitchen, one of the cooking shows earlier in the season. Never heard of him, so it's been a little rough. But I think I know who was under all 3 of these masks, and all 3 of their names were finally mentioned. 2 of them, I think, for the first time on this episode. So let's get it started here in just a second. First, though, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do the Masked Singer recap and reactions every single week that there is a new episode. We've been doing it since season 3, so there's always a lot going on with the Masked Singer, but there's also a lot of other things that I do on the channel here. It's not just Masked Singer content. I do movie reviews, TV reviews. Just about every day I do post something new, so there's always a lot going on. With that in mind, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button below. And, of course, with the Masked Singer videos, it's important to comment with your thoughts on who is under the mask. You definitely steered me in one direction for one of these people. In fact, the other 2, Ugly Sweater and Starfish, I think, if it's who I think it is, I have been correct from the start on them. Goldfish, which, judging by tonight's performances, I would say right now the Goldfish is probably the one moving forward, but we'll see. But Goldfish, I've wavered on. I've had some different thoughts over the time, but the clue package tonight really has me in line with what you guys have been thinking for Goldfish. So we'll get to all of that. First, the group, all 3 of them came out and sang "We Are the Champions" together. And then we had the Ugly Sweater, and he is the first one voted out. So we'll talk about the Ugly Sweater, then we'll go to the video for Take It Off, and then I'll watch the rest of the episode. But the Ugly Sweater says, "What's old is new again, and I've been upcycled and recycled more times than I can count." And we see a pool floaty at that point. He says, "From Snoop to Nirvana." And we see a shirt with the praying hands on it. He says, "I even worked with Tupac." And at that point, he holds up a 24-karat gold bar, which Rita commented, "Oh, could be Bruno Mars." That's the first thing I thought of, 24-karat, because of the 24K Magic album by Bruno Mars. And then we see a crying emoji expression at that point. Okay, the song, "I Want to Break Free," always good. And the connection in this episode, each post-song clue is a connection to somebody on the show. And this one is to Nick. He said, "I will never forget giving you dating advice." And at that point, Nick actually thought, okay, I think I know who this is. So the guesses from the panel are the same as they were at the end of the run here, right before the Take It Off. So just kind of skip over what they guessed originally and go to the final guesses, because they all said it earlier in the show. Ken, I think this guess was new, because we didn't hear from Ken earlier in this episode, and I don't think we've heard this name mentioned this season yet, but maybe we have. Al Green was his guess. None of these, by the way, are necessarily bad guesses, but Ken thought Al Green. Jenny thought it could be Aaron Neville. She came up with a couple of connections with the clues, but the voice for me is just not there. Aaron Neville has a very distinctive voice, and it's not this. Rita thinks still that it could be Smokey Robbins, and she's been on that for a couple of weeks now. Not a bad guess at all with the clues, but Robin has hit onto it. He got to it. I think Robin might have been saying this from the first episode. Let me go back and look. I think he definitely said it last week. Yeah, okay. Oh, and Aaron Neville's been said since the beginning too. But this person is who I went with the first week. I still think it is this person under the mask, which would be great because then I would be 4 for 8. So I would be finally at the halfway mark again. I was 3 for 6 very briefly last week, but I believe this is Charlie Wilson from the Gap Band. I've thought that since the beginning. None of the clues have really dissuaded me otherwise, and the vocals spot on for me. So this is Uncle Charlie. He definitely worked with Snoop Dogg. I didn't know about the Nirvana connection, but look, the guy's worked with a lot of people. Tupac makes sense. He was on Bruno Mars's 24K record. So this all to me says Charlie Wilson. So let's go to the Take It Off. Pretty easy. This is one I said from the beginning. I agreed with Robin right from the start on this. So let's hope. Let's see. All right, come on. I should have fast forwarded this a little bit. My God. Yeah, there it is. Charlie Wilson from the Gap Band. Robin had it from the start. That's pretty rare that one of them gets it right from the start. I was first introduced to Charlie Wilson through Snoop Dogg, actually. I mean, I knew who the Gap Band was. I knew some of their songs. I couldn't have named anybody from the Gap Band, though. But Snoop Dogg and Pharrell both worked with him in the, I guess, late 2000s, maybe? Or mid 2000s?
Has been ugly last name Sweater.
All right.
I had a great time here. And the fans are great. Mwah, mwah.
All right. Well, it doesn't seem like they're going to talk about anything too interesting, so we'll move on here. So I will watch the rest of this then until we figure out who is getting voted off, whether it's Starfish or Goldfish. I assume they're going to do a battle royale, sing some kind of Queen song. My guess would be the Goldfish is going into the finals. It is indeed the Goldfish moving on here to the finals, so the Starfish is getting sent home. I was pretty sure once I heard the vocals today with Goldfish. I mean, she could win the whole season. There's a few people that I have my eye on for potentially winning the season, but boy, oh boy, I mean, what a vocal performance she gave us earlier in the show. So we'll get to her, actually, because Starfish performed second, and since she is getting the mask removed, we're going to do Starfish first and then wrap it up with who I think is the Goldfish. All right, so Starfish. After my two gal pals got my dream job, the pressure was on, and then I got a call to step in on something else to replace someone who got fired. We see a telescope at that point. She said, my first day, it felt like every move was scrutinized, and we saw a rabbit. And then she said, I put my spin on it, though, and it worked. And we see a bellhop type bell, that you ding at the front counter. And then she sang Under Pressure, of course, by Queen. Her connection to the panel was Jenny. She said, last time we hung out, I offered you tickets to my show. And so the guesses from the panel remained the same. Once again, at the end. So I guess we'll just go directly to them. Robin said it could be Kate McKinnon, who played Jenny on SNL in their, I guess, when Eddie Murphy hosted, they did a Masked Singer sketch. So Kate McKinnon played Jenny. And so, okay, last time we hung out, I offered you tickets to my show. Saturday Night Live certainly could be that show. Rita went with Amy Schumer, who, of course, has hosted SNL, but, stand-up comedian. Jenny said Lisa Kudrow, who I think was mentioned before, and that could make sense with the my two gal pals got my dream job. The pressure was on to find my own because famously Lisa Kudrow did not get the job of Roz on Frasier, and then of course she was offered the Friends role. So that could be something there. But I have been sticking with this person since the first week. But we finally heard her name on the show this season for the first time from Ken, of all people. I think Ken is right on this. He said Kate Flannery from The Office. We saw that telescope, to which I actually couldn't connect, but Ken connected. What do you see with telescope? You see stars. Dancing with the Stars. Of course, Kate was on that show. She lasted a while too. I don't think she won. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. I don't think she won though, but I think she got pretty far. She was on like 7, 8 episodes, something like that. So my two gal pals got my dream job. I mean, could that be? She's very close with Jane Lynch. Could that be when Jane Lynch got the Glee job? Maybe. I don't know who the other friend would be, but that kind of stuck out to me just because I know her and Jane Lynch are very close. And then she got a call to step in on something else to replace someone. Could she be even talking about Dancing with the Stars at that point? Is Dancing with the Stars her dream job? And so that's what she's talking about. Because the first day it felt like my every move was scrutinized. That could certainly mean, Dancing with the Stars. She's being judged. She's being critiqued. Anyway, all of these clues from over the weeks. The PA sunscreen. She is from Philadelphia, but also the show The Office takes place in Scranton. She talked about the number of streams that the show got. What did she say? 50 billion streamed minutes in just 1 year. That's certainly The Office, one of the most popular series ever to be on streaming. So yeah, I mean, look, I've been saying it since the beginning. This is Kate Flannery. So let's go to the take it off. If 2 for 2, boy, that would be a first for this season for me. But I forwarded enough. I think we're not going to have to deal with take it off too much. Yeah, of course. Of course, it's our girl Kate. And I love Kate Flannery. As a Philly guy myself, she is a frequent guest on my favorite podcast, which is the Philly Morning Show, Preston and Steve. She's on there all the time. Whenever she's in town, she tries to visit. And she's so freaking funny. Love her on The Office. Oh, there's the sound.
But compare this stage to The Office. What's the difference?
There's more snacks on The Office. And you know what? I can't drink at all when I do this show.
Yeah, Meredith is always drinking on The Office.
Ken,
Well done.
Ken actually got it right.
My community buddy, man.
Exactly.
Oh,
You're the best.
that's right, because she worked with him.
Someone I love.
She worked with him on Community for a little bit.
She has never changed.
Yeah.
Before The Office, after The Office,
Love
you're
you.
the most grounded
Yeah.
celebrity.
No, I believe that she is the same through and through. Yeah, everybody says that about her. And she's one of those people on The Office who was she hired as a writer and then they put her in the background, because I know a lot of those people were Mindy Kaling certainly. I think BJ Novak as well, and so a handful of those people were just like, oh, just be in the background or whatever, and then they sort of became characters along the way. But anyway, love that, and I love that I got 2 for 2. So that's very exciting. All right, but we have one more person to talk about. My show is not over yet, even though the Masked Singer episode is over. But we still have to talk about the Goldfish. So she is moving on to the finals. They sang Another One Bites the Dust, by the way, Goldfish and Starfish, after the Take It Off of Ugly Sweater. So we have the Goldfish left, and she says, life comes in waves, and we see an island map at that point. She said, the night before my dream role, I received the worst news of all time. I lost my #1 supporter, felt like I couldn't move. And then we see a witch's hat at that point, but I reached inside and performed, and it was so beautiful to be able to honor them. And the song, appropriately for her clue package, The Show Must Go On. Great Queen tune. And then her connection is with Ken. She says, you haven't changed since the last time we worked together. And so the guesses from the panel, Hilary Duff, Selena Gomez, I think names that we've heard before for the Goldfish. And then one that we have not heard yet, but that you guys have been touting since the first week, and that's Vanessa Hudgens. So here's the deal. I'm finally ready to commit to Vanessa Hudgens. I really was not hearing it in the voice, to be completely honest. The first week, she just wasn't on my radar. High School Musical is kind of out of my thing. I wasn't thinking about her. But then you guys all said it in the comments. It's Vanessa Hudgens. I still couldn't piece together some of the clues. So last week, I said, you know what? It's probably Vanessa Hudgens, but we're not going to lose her yet. She's probably going to the final. So tell me in the comments why these clues last week lead to Vanessa Hudgens. And because there was like a vampire bat, and so she apparently was in some vampire movie I never heard of. But you guys said it in the comments. So, okay, cool. But the one thing well, not the one thing I know about Vanessa Hudgens, but one thing I definitely know about Vanessa Hudgens, and Rita was the one who mentioned it on the show, is that the night before Vanessa Hudgens was to do Grease live on, I think it was on Fox. It was back. They haven't really done these since COVID, I guess, but they used to, like, once or twice a year. One of the networks would put on a live stage production, and they did The Sound of Music. They did Captain Hook. What was it? Peter Pan with Christopher Walken as Captain Hook. They did Rent, I think, at one point. But anyway, Grease Live is maybe the only one I've actually watched. No, I think I watched. There were a couple I saw, but anyway, but Vanessa Hudgens was part of that, and her father died the day before, and she still performed. I mean, what a freaking trooper! I can't imagine. So when that clue package was up, I'm like, okay, I'm finally sold. This is Vanessa Hudgens for sure. I'm still not positive about the voice, but it doesn't matter. All the clues now are lining up. I'm finally with you guys. Vanessa Hudgens for the win. And she may win. I mean, I think of all of the people we have so far left, Group B still has their finals. There's a few people in there that I think are really good. Gumball's definitely good. The Beats, I think, are great, which I think is Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken. So, couple of really good ones in Group B left. And one of you guys in the comments mentioned that you had heard Rita actually does the Ding Dong Keep It On bell again, even though they're only allowed one per season. I personally thought it was used on the wrong group with Group C. And maybe the producers felt the same, so they brought the Ding Dong Keep It On bell back. And so apparently she rings it again. I don't know. We'll see. We won't find that out for 2 weeks, though, because Group B is next week with their wild card. So we'll get probably 2 unmaskings then. And then the remaining 3 will go on to the Group B finals the week after. And then I guess the week after that will be the finals for the season. So just a few weeks left, but Goldfish moving on to the finals, so it should be exciting. I think she really actually could go all the way. She's got her performance of The Show Must Go On was so great tonight. So we will see. But thank you for watching. Dan Reviews It, and I'll see you next time. Bye.